Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 15 of my Road to 1 Bill series. Today we're starting off by doing some Gnome Restaurant, which I have finally figured out. Took actually like 4 or 5 hours to get it down properly, and I did make a video about it, so I'm not going to go over it too much in the Road to 1 Bill series, but we'll go briefly just summarize. Basically what we're doing is we're going to these two gnomes and delivering them food. After we have everything set up, you can get about 20 of these gnomes orders complete in an hour, and there's about a 1 in 20 chance of receiving a gnome scarf, which is worth about 800k. So altogether I was getting close to 1 mil an hour doing this. It is a bit of a pain for some things, but honestly I kind of find it a bit fun, surprisingly. So some goals for this episode are we're going to do a couple quests. We want to get My Arms Big Adventure done, and we want to get our cash stack up to 10 mil and get that green cash stack status. I think coming up here we're actually getting our first gnome scarf. Yep, there it is, which is pretty exciting. I was pretty stoked when I finally got that. Also, it just looks really cool if you equip it. And yeah, we'll price check it quickly, but I think it's worth about 800k as of this video. Yeah, so not bad. And yeah, let's get the episode started. Alright guys, one more thing before we jump into the video is we did do a draw for a 1-month GE Tracker membership. Almost 100 of you entered, which is really awesome. Thank you all for the support on that last video. So we've loaded up all your names on here, and we'll spin to see who actually is going to win the membership. And the winner is going to be DPJ. Congratulations, you have won 1 month of GE Tracker. Give it 1 or 2 days for it to upgrade, but I'll make sure to get your account upgraded as soon as possible. Alright, thanks everyone for entering. Alright guys, we got our second gnome scarf. That was probably only 5 more runs, so really not that bad. It was actually only another 20 minutes after our last one, so we kind of lucked out there. There is our second gnome scarf. That is another 800k, and we're rocking the Santa hat because it's Christmas time, and why not? So after that second gnome scarf, we kind of went on a dry streak, so we decided to do some agility, and we grinded it out for a couple hours, and we did hit 55 marks of grace, which is pretty exciting because that is our second to last graceful piece. So all we have left is the hood after this, and then we'll have the full set, which we've been kind of working towards for almost a month or two now, and yeah, pretty exciting. Alright, we're in Grace's graceful clothing, and we're going to buy the graceful top. There we go, perfect. And yeah, that is our second to last piece. Going to reduce down our weight to -20. We're getting less fat every day, which is pretty nice. And yeah, we'll just have to get the graceful hood, and then we'll be totally complete. Alright, so we're actually just hitting an agility level. There is 57 agility. We're still trying to grind out the graceful set tonight. We got a fair amount more marks to get, but yeah, there's an agility level. Alright, so I just noticed actually after doing the couple hours of Gnome Restaurant, we got about 2 mil in profit from those gnome scarves and some extras, and that actually brought us up past 10 mil. So we finally have a green cash stack. We're now 1/100th of the way to 1 bill. So you know we're pretty close any day now. And yeah, we're going to knock off the rest of these agility levels and agility marks, more importantly. So we can get the full graceful set. We're just buying some alcohols here. But yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Alright, so we're back at the Canifis course. We're very close to having 35 marks of grace, but we're actually going to hit an agility level just before that. We finally kind of got this alkene and agility thing down, so we're not losing too much agility experience, because it ended up affecting our experience levels quite a bit. Anyway, there is 58 agility. Alright, and there's our last mark of grace. That is 35. That is all we need for the graceful set. So we'll go ahead and go to Graceful's graceful outfit. I think that's right, and buy the final piece. Alright, here we are guys. It has been a couple months since I started on this goal, and there we go, the graceful hood is the last piece. So just in case you didn't know, having the full graceful set does have an added bonus beyond just the weight reduction of the individual pieces. So it's going to cap out at -20 or -24 or whatever it is, but we also get 30% increased run energy restoration, which is going to be pretty sweet for almost everything. So it kind of seems like I have about 10 mil just kind of laying around not doing anything. So I kind of decided that I would kind of throw back to an older money making method I did before. And that is going to be buying some Odium shards and combining them into an Odium ward. And so we're just going to calculate this by adding up the average buy price of the 3 pieces, and then subtracting that off of the price of what we can sell the Odium ward for. I did have a money-making guide for this, so if you're actually interested in how to do it, there's shit, I'm gonna have to link so much stuff. Just, it's on my channel, you can go find it. But yeah, it actually works pretty well. You can see here we're actually gonna get about 350k in profit just by essentially just flipping. We're just kind of doing a complicated way of flipping an item, but all you have to do is run into the top right corner of the map, and there's a volcano, and you can turn it into the full product, and then you get 300k in profit, so not too bad. We're going to go ahead and put an offer in, hopefully for 2 of each, although I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to afford that, because one of the pieces did rise up quite a lot in the last month or so, but it's still profitable, surprisingly. So while we wait for our pieces to buy, we're just going to do a little bit more Gnome Restaurant. It's been pretty good to us the last couple hours we've done it, so I don't know, maybe we'll get another scarf. I'm not sure if that's how RNG works at all, but we'll go ahead and try for some more. Alright, so our first delivery is going to yield us a 2/2 of a key. That's actually not too bad, that's like 20k. Way better than some. For our second delivery, we got a gnome ball, and I always think this is the expensive item. Unfortunately, this one's not worth anything. A good 4.4k. And our third delivery is a bird's nest. And that's a weird succession of items we just got, but I don't know, not complaining. Alright, so we ended up doing another 10 of those and didn't get anything as a reward, so I think instead we're going to work on the prerequisites for the My Arms Big Adventure quest, and I think the only one left we have to do is Jungle Potion, which is a pretty quick quest, so we'll go knock that out of the way. Alright, so somehow we searched some rocks and found a herb in there, which is cool with me. Alright, I think that is Jungle Potion complete. 1 quest point and 775 Herblore experience, but mainly we're doing it so we can do the minigame and do My Arms Big Adventure. So we are at Mount Doom. We are going to combine the 3 Odium pieces into the Odium ward, which is a nice 300k profit right there. Not too bad. We'll go back to the Grand Exchange and sell it. Okay, so we ended up selling it maybe only for a 200 or 250k profit, but still pretty good. For the amount of work we put in anyway. So I think we're going to go ahead and buy another Odium Shard 2 and 3. That way we can combine another ward and get another 200 or 300k in profit. Afterwards, we're going to continue on with the typo wanna clean up minigame, because we do need it for the My Arms Big Adventure quest. Oh my god, there's so many syllables and all this stuff. So I think this is the most effective way to do it. We are chopping down the jungle vines and then killing anything that spawns, and then just dropping the sticks or whatever you get. So I got this goat tuber. I don't never heard of this item before, but it's worth 521k. What the fuck? Okay, there's 63% favor in the Taibawana cleanup minigame. So we can go ahead and start My Arms Big Adventure. And we got 23 trading sticks as well. Alright, I still cannot get over how much this goat tuber is worth. It's actually going to sell for about 500k, which is insane. We do have the 2 pieces for the Odium ward as well, so we'll go ahead and combine those. Alright, we're back at the Volcanic Forge. We'll combine the 3 pieces, and that is another 300k in profit, which is pretty nice. I can't recommend this method enough, even though I did kind of get some flack for this one, but it still works. You can still do it, guys. It doesn't crash forever. Alright, so before we're starting the My Arms Big Adventure quest, we are going to gather some camel dung. Because we do need it for the quest, and apparently you can't get it anywhere else. Can we take this Abyssal Whip? Come on, take it. Oh, I think it kicks us out of the cutscene. Alright, so we're about halfway done this quest, and it is pretty annoying, I'll be completely honest. The cutscenes are hilarious. Everything about it's pretty funny, but it is a lot of running and weird things. Alright, this guy is throwing a serious temper tantrum. I kind of like how he just conks people out of the way, like, boom, boom, then he's gone. Alright, so we are nearing the end of the quest. We just have to fight this big bird, which apparently isn't too big a deal, but he does knock you back, which is really annoying. And I can't click on him. This is actually kind of annoying. Okay, so we did end up killing the bird, which is good, and we got the reward, which is burnt meat, which I hope is the troll, and he should give me the experience. What? Okay, so apparently we have to talk to My Arm, and he will actually give me the experience and the quest completion. Alright, there we go. My Arm's Big Adventure is completed, so we have access to the disease-free patch, 10k Herblore experience, and 5k farming. Mainly we're doing it for the patch, but the experience is always nice. Alright guys, we're just about to wrap up the episode, so we're going to sell off everything we have of value. The Gouty Tuber did sell for 500k, the Odium Ward did sell for a 300k profit, so we're ending the episode with a 11 mil, which is the highest we've been by far. So we made a lot of progress this episode. Full graceful set completed, which is awesome. Another farming patch added into our farm run, and a green cash jack has been acquired. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next episode.